welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, November 12th. I'm South Labs meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite this morning shows some lingering clouds across the Central Valley as some moisture remains in place after yesterday's storm. There are a few marine layer clouds across the south coast as well, but those are breaking up. And prominently, there is a fresh coat of white in the form of snow across the Sierra, where elevations above 6,000 to 7,000 feet saw several inches of new snow yesterday. But as that storm system departs, overall, the trend will be for clearing skies today. Here's a look at our observed rainfall totals from the past 24 hours. Overall, most of central California saw about 1/10 to 1/3 of an inch of rain, but there were some higher amounts of 1/2 inch to an inch in some of the mountain areas, with the big winner being along the Big Sur coast and the Santa Lucia Mountains, where locally over an inch fell. So it was a decent moisture maker for central California, but once again we saw little to nothing over southern California. Behind the storm, what we have left is wind. Northerly winds are making their presence felt, primarily over Santa Barbara County and the Grapevine. Here are the latest observations with the wind gust values shown in red, and I filtered it to only show stations gusting at or above 20 miles per hour. So we're seeing fairly widespread northerly winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts locally up to 50 miles per hour. These winds will continue for much of the day, but gradually diminish this afternoon. Meanwhile, the associated humidities are well above critical levels. The RHs will drop through the day, but so too will the wind speeds, and so we don't get a great overlap between the drier air and the lower RH. As a result, only locally elevated fire weather conditions are expected in these areas today, with no major concerns. Temperatures today will be cooler than yesterday, especially in central California, with upper 50s to low 60s in the Central Valley, and upper 60s to low 70s in the Southern California valleys. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 15 and 30% over Southern California today, but will be higher over most of Central California. We get a little weak ridge of high pressure to build in later today and tomorrow. That will bring us a little bit of warming. Here's a look at tomorrow's forecast highs with some mid to locally upper 70s in the Southern California valleys. More notable, though, will be the drying. Tomorrow is going to be a very dry day in Southern California. Take a look at the expected minimum RH values, which in many cases will dive into the single digits or at best low teens, with poor recoveries in a lot of areas both tonight and Wednesday night. Luckily, winds will be on the light side during this dry period. Our little warm-up won't last, though, in fact, quite the opposite. A deep, lumbering trough of low pressure will push into the region by later Thursday and very slowly make its way through from Thursday night all the way through the upcoming weekend, and likely followed by yet another trough by the time we get to Monday. The biggest effect of this will be in the temperatures. Significant cooling will occur by Friday, with temperatures plummeting 10 to 20 degrees below normal from Friday all the way through early next week, with valley highs only in the 50s to low 60s. Take a look at the forecast highs by Saturday. There will be some precipitation with this storm as well. It's a bit of an enigma, however, as the precipitation will tend to be very spotty and what we call convective in nature, dominated by hit-or-miss showers and thunderstorms that favor the foothills and mountains. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected from Thursday evening all the way through Saturday night. With this being such a cold storm, snow levels will drop all the way down to 4,000 to 5,000 feet, with even a low but present threat of snowfall impacts on the Grapevine. Despite its long duration, accumulations with this storm will be fairly light overall, mainly a 1/2 inch or less, but locally higher in the foothills and mountains, especially in the Sierra, and it does look like we'll get at least some low-end wetting rains in much of Southern California. As mentioned, there will also likely be quite a bit of lightning with this system, all of the wet variety of course, but still something to keep an eye on. Some additional showers with more light accumulations and continued low snow levels are likely mainly in the mountains on Monday afternoon through Tuesday morning, along with a round of strong onshore winds. Finally, by the middle of next week, most indications are that a ridge of high pressure will try to build in, leading to at least some modest warming and potentially the development of offshore winds. But we've got plenty of weather to get through before then. Fine dead fuel moistures will likely dip from later today through early Thursday due to the dry air mass moving in. 1 hour and 10-hour fuels will become highly receptive. However, we'll then see substantial increases in dead fuel moisture by late this week and the weekend as we deal with the next round of showers, cold temperatures, and high RH. Large fire potential will generally be low this week due to the prevailing cool and moist conditions, with only light initial attack expected. Locally elevated fire weather conditions will continue through much of today across Santa Barbara County and the Grapevine. However, with the poor overlap between the stronger winds and lower RH values, no major concerns are expected. Fire potential may increase by the middle of next week if Santa Ana winds develop, but it will depend on the state of the fuels following the upcoming weather, and we'll have plenty of time to watch that. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, November 13th.